the other day. You know, was texting me in the stand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then what happened?
I had, well, a little bit of a rough morning getting out in the stand. I woke up late, put on the wrong boots, got out in the stand and realized my feet felt like bricks. Didn't see anything but two deer way off, just about daybreak. And then,
Oh,
hang on, I'm getting a call.
thanks for getting the call.
So, I messaged Brian, see how he was doing, and it's about, I don't know, 9 o'clock. And I started thinking about, you know, maybe starting to pack it in, because I really hadn't seen anything. And we were joking around about, you know, stuff from years ago,
And I said, I go, you probably got a deer right behind you laughing the whole time.
yeah, he was laughing, and then he sent me I didn't see it at first, and I was watching constantly where the deer always moved through from this oak stand to this field edge, and I just glanced to my left and I saw something just flip, and I says, "That's a deer tail."
Sure it wasn't
Brian went on the back burner.
Sure it wasn't a mountain lion?
Oh yeah. And Brian went on the back burner for a minute.
Sure.
And then I messaged him back. I didn't look at what he said. I said, "Call me right away." He calls me up and he says, "You just shot a deer, didn't you?" I said, "Yes, I did."
A minute after I texted him, there's probably one right behind you.
It was a nice fat 3-pointer. He's coming down, working a rub line. At first, it was in a thicket, so I couldn't really tell if it was a buck or a doe. And I saw it, sapling start moving. I said, "That deer's rubbing on that sapling." So gave one little grunt. He whipped right around, started heading back, and I stood up. Of course, I'd been sitting so long at that point, my legs were shaking like, you know. So I said, "He's gonna see me." But he kind of sat down. He was kind of nosing through the leaves, and he was looking to see where that grunt came from. Went behind 2 big trees, so I went to full draw, and I figured he's gonna step right out. Well, he didn't. So I'm waiting, and finally he turned back around and started heading back down that small trail again. So I give it another grunt, and he come whipping right back through, and I says, "Well, I don't get a lot of chance to hunt, so today ain't your day."
That's right.
So he was standing right in front of me. I let the arrow go, and I've been hunting a long time, but I have never had a deer that I shot with a bow never take one step. I hit him, you know, just behind the shoulder, maybe a tad high, and I was so shocked that it was just standing there. We had a nice pass through, and I actually grabbed another arrow, like second guessing myself, and then it just keeled over right there. That's when I messaged Brian, and he goes, "You just shot a deer, didn't you?" I said, "Yeah, I did." He goes, "Oh, way." I said, "Well, what?" I took the picture. He goes, "I don't believe it."
Oh, so I wasn't the only one who didn't believe it.
No. Then Brian texted me and said that you doubted me, of course, and then I had to send you the picture.
What do we got going
See
on?
how it is. We got some IT work we're doing.
Come on, Penny. We're waiting for Penny. I'm gonna get some more to eat, and then we'll get started.
I don't know, there's something on my picture on the screen, a red 17.
Oh,
I don't know what that means.
17, you have 17
Messages.
notifications in there.
You're a popular fellow. You're trending.
How do I have 17?
It could be Capital District, it could be your own personal Facebook.
Huh.
Could be messages to me, I expect.
Oh yeah, private messages.
That could be anything. I couldn't believe that.
So the food is from Route 66?
Route 66 Smokehouse, and it's absolutely phenomenal.
It is.
Very.
I'll tell you, I think I make a pretty darn good deer sausage.
Sure.
This is phenomenal. It's really good.
Of course, me living up in Hoosick Falls, I don't get down there very much.
I didn't even know it existed until Brian said, "Hey, we're getting food from Route 66 Smokehouse."
I've heard of it, and I've heard of some guys that really like it.
Jeremy, Route 66 Smokehouse. What do you think? My man Randy.
No, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
So we got a bunch that, I had a bunch in my freezer, so we're gonna get one made.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. field
You ready?
some questions out there. Is there any questions on there? All right.
All right, maybe we're easy on it, I like that.
We can still talk. Is that the members?
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect.
So our sponsor for tonight, for our Facebook Live Cabin Talk, is Route 66 Meats and Smokehouse in Wine and Still. Randy Mallow, he donated sausage and peppers. Hold up, everybody, I ate on mine. We'll wait till Penny makes
I just
hers.
finished mine.
So it's venison, sausage, and peppers, really good. So thanks to Randy Mallow, Route 66 Meats and Smokehouse in Wine and Still. If you want your venison processed, fresh sausage, chorizo, sweet Italian, bratwurst, broccoli and cheddar, jalapeno, feta spinach, Italian, hot, sweet, garlic. I mean, he does a lot of smoked products too. Pepperoni, kielbasa. Wow. Salami, bologna.
A lot of stuff here.
Yeah. I hear nothing but good things from people that go to Route 66 Smokehouse. So
Edward, what are you guys eating? Quarter roast?
we're sausage and peppers.
How's the volume, everybody? Tell us the Christmas tree.
I know I always get accused of talking too softly.
You know, yeah. I don't have that problem.
Because I can't hear that well. It's really loud inside my head. But
Yeah.
it's not when it comes out of my mouth.
All right, here we go. Live from the mountaintops of Grafton in Rensselaer County in the Capital District Sportsman Center. Welcome back to our second Cabin Talk. We have a special guest tonight. If you were in the class, it was a great experience. We have Mike Cardis, Mike the Butcher Cardis with us. Penny, why don't you fill them in and what happened in the class? She has a mouthful.
Right under the bus you go.
Oh, come on.
Should have been ready for this.
So what was the date on that, Mike? Last 2 weeks ago, was it?
October.
Oh, the 21st,
Yeah.
22nd.
22nd.
Yeah, there was about 43 people.
43 people.
Yep.
Okay.
That's the second class we did. The first class was great too, but the second class was
Shows that volume is good.
phenomenal. You know, I really enjoy everybody coming. One thing I wanted to say quickly is there was a gentleman, excuse me, that I met after the class that contacted me the other day about the game processing kit, and I apologize, but I don't know if I somehow erased your phone number, but if you could reach back out to me, give me a call, send me a message on Facebook, I'll square you right away.
All right. Nice. That was a great class. You did a great job as always.
Thank you.
Comedy show as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm seeing hitting me. In 10 minutes, he's already hitting people.
I'm glad you're sitting next
You
to
tell
him.
he's feeling better.
You got later we got a special, Mike's got a present under the Christmas
Yeah,
tree.
somebody
We're gonna-
delivered
We're gonna have it open.
Oh no. I don't even want to know.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I do.
You do recall yesterday the prank on me?
Oh, don't worry. We got another one working.
Oh.
Don't worry. I got a little something for you. This was going to take some serious logistics, but once I pull this off, you
All
just
right.
wait.
We'll see.
I got to get an airplane.
So if anybody's got a plane,
Yeah. If anybody wants to donate a small aircraft,
So, past events, what are we doing now currently? What do we have going on?
well, we just had the meeting tonight and just talking about, we're gonna move forward with the gardens for the spring.
Okay.
We're gonna be looking into building some raised beds. Cause that would work best out here. The ground we have out here is very, very wet. Which would work good with a raised bed.
absolutely.
So when do we want to, when do we time frame?
We're gonna be looking next few weeks to be coming up with a design for the raised beds and then getting material list. I think, we probably even could make a class out of building the raised beds.
Absolutely.
Go from start right to harvesting some stuff here in the fall, next fall.
You want to talk about the classrooms, how that would
Yeah, our next classroom, we wanted to bring in the hiking community. You know, and we're starting to actively search for somebody. I'm very passionate about this stuff. The cabin classroom. This is stuff that I've done my whole life. So I know what should be hung up in the rooms, or I know what should be. I mean, there's a whole bunch of people on this page that can build, but we're looking for the little things that somebody who is passionate in the hiking community that I am with this part.
How about camping? We're going to do camping, hiking,
Hiking, yeah.
So this classroom, the next classroom is going to be called,
I believe it should be called the lean-to.
okay.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if we build maybe a mock-up lean-to, build an Adirondack style lean-to, maybe a scaled-down version, because it's still going to be a classroom.
So we're looking for a few people to maybe help head that project.
To help head.
Almost like
We need
somebody
that.
to help design it and tell us what's out there, what would be accurate to have, what would be real to have. So like somebody that does the hiking, any 46er out there, 46ers that hike, or anybody who wants
Right.
to just come help us put it together.
I mean, we want some folks to go into that classroom who are hikers, who are starting to hike, to be able to walk in that classroom and feel at home. That when they walk in that room, we want them to know that they're in the right spot. We need help with that.
And how about going on to the gardening? So the third classroom, we're going to call the
Root cellar.
root cellar. And that'll be gardening. Penny's going to do homesteading.
Some homesteading.
What else?
We should do some canning.
Yeah, that's great.
You know, Robin has some contacts with some wild mushrooms.
Big wild mushrooms. I
Oh,
believe it's the term of mycologist, I'm not 100% sure, but I may be able to get in touch with someone that specializes with wild mushrooms and knows.
they do like edibles, all
Yeah.
Yeah, wild foods. There's a ton of wild foods
What
out
to
there.
eat, what not to eat, you know, that kind of thing.
You have to be very careful. You just can't take any.
You know, I did some foraging, some shrooming, mushrooming this summer and fall. And
Just put that anywhere.
I think you're down or you may be dying.
so
We're working.
I stuck with the easy ones.
You're good.
The chicken of the woods, hen of the woods.
Yep.
One of them I found was really easy to find and good were the pear-shaped puffballs, and you also have the big white puffballs. But, you know,
Gotta be careful.
right. I stuck with the easy ones that don't really have any lookalikes that are poisonous. Because there are some, like somebody said, you can eat all mushrooms, some only once.
Yeah, that's right. And there's
So they could be through some dangerous, yeah. So that'd be a great class.
But going along with that, there's some mushrooms out there you don't even want to put your fingers on.
No.
Right.
So if you don't know the mushroom,
Yeah.
then walk by it.
Right.
You know, just snap a picture with your phone and talk to somebody who does know.
Yeah. Don't even pick it up.
There's some apps, I believe, that you can download.
Yeah, I have.
That you just send a picture to, and it literally just searches and lets you know.
That's not 100%,
Right.
Yeah.
but it does help.
A person that knows it and has seen them has, you know.
My Apple shows lookalikes, and
Yeah.
yeah, you know.
So just be careful. Just because we're talking about it, we don't mean go out and pick some mushrooms and try them.
Yeah.
No.
They said that was okay.
Yeah, right.
It's like skydiving. If you get it wrong, you got the rest of your life to figure it out.
Right. All 30 seconds.
That's right.
Yeah.
So what else do we have going on?
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited about I'm excited about all of them, of course, but the next two classrooms are going to be, you know, that's going to take us up to the next level. I mean, we're doing good and we're doing good in here, and we're trying to go what our seasons. So we're going to try to tailor some classes, you know, some different events according to what season we're in.
So coming up, we talked about what, snowshoeing?
We're gonna try to get a snowmobile safety course here. If anybody knows any instructors for that, reach out to us. The other thing that happened in the last few weeks is we went and picked up a bunch of kitchen equipment, which kind of brings me to the wish list. We try to put out a wish list on the page every now and then with varying degrees of whatever. Right now, I'm really looking for a Garland stove. That's probably the top of my wish list. That's what I'm obsessing
Didn't ask for
over.
much.
No. We also really are in dire need of a grant writer, so that's also on our wish list. That's something that we really need assistance with in the very near future. And the third thing, either one of you remember? Anybody remember? There were 3 things I wanted to put on the wish list. Okay. But, so the designer, so let's go with somebody to help design the Adirondack room, spread the word, so if we can put that on the wish list, the Garland stove, and a grant writer.
So the Adirondack room is the lean-to room?
Yes.
Right? And so any of you hikers out there, experienced hikers, what you've seen on trails and stuff, if you're interested in getting in touch with us, make arrangements, give us ideas of how to base the room, create the room, design the room.
How you want the room to look, or you know what would make it the most inviting.
I was thinking, I have a couple friends of mine that do the fire tower hikes. They hike all the fire towers in New York State. You know, we could maybe tie something in along that lines, you know, like the forest ranger aspect of it, that kind of thing, you know.
PJ Shelby is asking, is now a bad time to use a coupon?
Well, I might have to leave. I don't know. I'll have to. Well, yesterday was my wife's birthday.
Happy
So,
birthday!
Happy birthday,
Happy
Shelby.
30th.
I gave her a list of coupons that she can call in at any point in time, and I drop what I'm doing and leave.
Oh!
So, if this is one of those times, just respond, and I will see you in about a half hour.
There you go.
Which I haven't mentioned to you guys yet, but when she calls on the coupons, I'm dropping what I'm doing, and I've got to go take care of the coupons.
Okay.
Happy spouse, happy house.
You know, we're both very, very happy, so I'm very lucky.
Awesome.
What else we have going on? How about the fundraising?
Oh, the raffle tickets?
Yeah, the raffle tickets and our donation holiday drive.
Yep, the holiday drive. So, you know, we have the list of what we actually have a separate video of all that we gathered last year. We want to do whether it's food, gift cards, gifts, whatever. Just reach out to us and we'll arrange pickup and get them to families in need. The raffle drawing for the raffle tickets, 17 chances to win, 300 tickets sold, $50 a ticket. I think we have about 60 tickets left to sell. That drawing is on December 5th. So if you want one, just let us know on that. We're tentatively planning a cornhole tournament.
Yes. Everybody enjoys playing cornhole. With the weather that's approaching, it's not really,
We're thinking in February.
conducive to playing cornhole outside. So we're looking to see who's interested in playing a cornhole tournament. We're throwing a few ideas out there, you know, as to what the prizes may be.
If you're one in the gym.
That's what we're thinking.
Yeah.
You know, double elimination tournament, that kind of thing. So anybody that's interested, please, you know, comment, let us know, because it's something that I think it'd be a lot of fun.
So you want to put out a poll or do you want to post for it? And we'll
Sure.
see.
Yeah.
You're gonna take care of that?
Yeah, we'll touch you.
I don't know how to do polls.
All right, we'll figure
It's
it
beyond
out.
it's beyond my capability.
One thing I wanted to touch base on when we were talking about fundraising, stuff for the holidays, that kind of thing, with especially for us Southern Zone hunters, rifle season's rapidly approaching. For anybody that wants to donate a deer to, you know, needy people in the area, Hunters for the Hungry, that kind of thing, please reach out to me. As long as I'm available, which is, I'm pretty,
Your busy time is coming.
yeah, it'll be busy, but I'll always make time. If somebody has a deer that they want to donate, and
Just get hold of us.
yeah, get a hold of us, get a hold of me,
Yep.
and get me the deer, and I'll take care of it from there.
That's awesome. That's a huge.
And we'll get that distributed out to people who need it, people that kind of thing.
What's your average time on process in the same year?
35 minutes door to door.
I was gonna say, does it depend on if Kathy calls it a coupon?
So that ends up being a lot of time you're donating to that.
Well, yeah, I mean, as long as I can, if I'm already set up for it, and I can knock it out pretty quick. It doesn't take me that long, but it's one of those things that's near and dear to me. I like taking care of people, that may be down and out, because
Sure.
it's not a handout.
We can all be there at any point.
Absolutely, and it's not a handout; it's a handout. That's the way I look at it.
And that goes hand in hand with our last holiday season and the year before, where we did the donating, whether it's coupons or Hannaford, Price Chopper, food cards, groceries, venison, beef.
Whatever, we've had some turkeys. Some
This year,
stuff.
we've already got some donations coming in now.
I'm going to meet Joe on Monday for his maple syrup.
Sugar Shack and Hoosier Falls.
Yeah.
So we'll post something about that.
Yep.
We had some toys donated, some food cards.
Yeah.
So we're getting started with that.
Wayne Roberts, thank you. He will also offer his services for anyone in need, if Mike gets too buried.
Yeah, thanks, Wayne.
Thanks,
Wayne
Wayne.
Go is
Yes.
helping out, showing up.
Yep.
Speaking of processing, that's why you're here. So last year, you and I did a thing with Cornhole Cooperative,
Yep.
and it was on beef jerky. So I want to talk to you a little bit about right on processing, different things people can make with venison, and your thoughts on that. And we're going to talk about, give a shout out, and maybe some people could message our local food venison processors. Route 66, Smokehouse,
Absolutely.
is our sponsor tonight, and we'd like to also mention all the rest of the places that process venison around the Capital District. Okay.
So before you start with that, if you guys could, everybody watching can send us that, we can make a page or we can put something on our website so we can refer people to that. We all know a couple off the top of our head, but if we could get a collective group, I think that would be nice and put it on our page.
Yeah, and give us a location, like West End, just USHAC.
I think Eshak's does if it's phoned, but I'm not 100%
Okay.
positive, but I believe.
All right,
they
so
do.
give us the place where they're located, a resource for people. Okay.
Basically, you can almost do anything you want with venison. You know your basic cuts. Obviously, everybody knows that the tenderloins and the backstraps are, that's the money meat. Or as I say it, that's the part you almost never give away. But when you start getting into the front chucks, there's a lot you can do depending on whether you bone it out or slice it on a saw into round bone and blade chops.
Now, Mike, I'm sorry. Just some people aren't familiar when you say chunks. Can you be more specific?
The chunk is your front shoulders. Your front shoulders and up into your neck area. That stuff makes good chops if you have somebody that processes it with a bandsaw. If they bone it out, you can make nice pot roast out of that. Obviously, that's where your neck roast and that kind of stuff is going to come from. Your stews, and then we were talking at the end of the
Workshop.
the workshop. Everybody was talking about what to do with the shanks. From here to here.
Yes.
And personally, I like to take them and make venison ossobuco with them. It's similar to veal ossobuco with the red wine and that kind of stuff. It's a really simple recipe. It's phenomenal. You cook it real slow in the oven. Or you can take those and just brown them off, throw them in a big stock pot, slice off about 5 pounds of onions, throw that in there, add a little low sodium beef stock, let that cook down. As the meat falls off the bone, you got the venison French onion soup. It's phenomenal. That's a cut that you really want to cook long and slow. And then once you start getting into your hindquarters, that's where you're going to get the stuff that you're going to want to make your larger roasts out of. some of your brajoles or your venison cutlets or your jerkies, that kind of thing.
Now, you just have to talk to them quickly, separating the hind quarter muscles, your rounds.
Yep, basically like I said in the workshop, if you're doing your own beater, you know, Mother Nature gives us everything that we need when we look at a skinned out animal, regardless of what kind it is. If a seam looks like it creates a muscle group, it does. Just trace around the seam, and basically all you really want to concentrate on is cutting across that grain. Once you start cutting with the grain, that's when something's going to be tough, regardless of what cut it is, more or less. And your upper portions of your hindquarters, you're going to get some really nice big pieces of large muscle groups in there. And slicing that for jerky can be a little bit difficult if, number one, you don't have a decent sharp knife and you're not really that used to it. So throw it in the freezer for 45 minutes or so, and that'll stiffen it up enough where you can get those nice even slices for jerky. And then, you know, I know a lot of people say, oh, well, you got to have a dehydrator, or you got to have this, or you got to listen. Anybody can make jerky in their house with a minimum amount of equipment. I know some people, you know, are big proponents of, well, it's got to be with a fan or this or that. There's a million recipes online. You know, take a look at what suits your needs that you have in your home. Because let's face it, heat is heat and air is air. And that venison doesn't know whether it's in a $500 dehydrator or if it's in your oven at home that you crack the door on and you're just keeping an eye on it so it doesn't dry out too far.
The best jerky I've had is on toothpicks hanging from the rack and up.
There you go. You know, it's keep it simple, keep it easy, because you know what? The less really hard work and aggravation that you get by trying to do it yourself and learning, it's going to be more conducive to you doing it again and enjoying it. And then, you know, the first batch comes out pretty good, but you might want to try, oh, I need a little bit more spice, or I think I'd like it with a little bit more smoke or something like that. That's when you can start tailoring your own recipe to what your own needs and personal tastes are. I can honestly say I don't think I've really ever had a bad piece of venison jerky. I've had some that's better than others. But that's like anything else, you know. And then, you know, Christmas is coming. You make a little venison jerky. You like it. Maybe you want to keep doing it. So, you know, maybe Santa brings you a small dehydrator for Christmas, you know, something like that. You know, or you get into a grinder and make it actual snack sticks and those kind of things. But like I said, keep it simple. The internet has a million recipes that are 5 ingredients and 3 ways to do it, or 500 ingredients and 500 ways to do it. Keep it simple at the beginning. You know.
Let's get back up a step. So how do you make it? Just a brief overview. You grind it, season it. How do you, and then?
Well, personally, I like to make jerky out of whole muscle groups. So I'll make it, and I'll slice it off of, you know, I'll bone out a hindquarter, and then I'll separate out about as much as I think I'm going to need, and always go with more than what you think you're gonna end up with, because that's why jerky is expensive, is because you start out with 5 pounds and you sure don't end up with that much. And then what I do is I'll slice it nice and thin, but it doesn't have to be paper thin. And then I'll marinate it, and then either throw it in the dehydrator or the oven. And that's how I like my jerky. I'm not a huge fan of the jerky that's ground and then you pump out with a gun and all that kind of stuff. It is good. It's just my own personal taste. I like it out of the whole muscle group style. It's my thing. But doing it with, you know, grinding it and seasoning it, you know, whether it be with a wet marinade style or a dry marinade style, the only ingredient you really got to be careful with when it comes to jerky or anything of that nature is salt. Because the more you dry it out, the saltier it's going to taste. So you don't want to, you kind of want to err on the side of maybe a little less, but salt is also your friend, because that's what helps preserve it and keep it safe to eat too.
So you put your oven on temperature-wise?
As low as possible. Basically, I'm the warm setting, and then I don't have a convection oven, so I just do the old stick a paper towel tube in the door, so it just kind of continually rotates the heat out. And then just keep an eye on it. Oh, I also have I think it's a Hamilton Beach dehydrator I bought a gazillion years ago at Walmart. And it's just one of those little tray dehydrators. You know, you just lay the meat on it and you know, turn it on. It's got a little fan and a warmer in it. And that makes phenomenal jerky. The only thing I will hesitate to tell you is, if you don't want your house to smell a lot, I mean a lot, like jerky, you may want to do that in the garage.
Another tip, don't ever put hot peppers in one of those.
Oh, it's like tear gas.
Yeah, I know. Don't ask me. The other thing with eating jerky is make sure that it's jerky that you're eating. So we put ours in vacuum seal bags, and there was some on the counter, and I went to take a piece.
There's a pepperoni, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was the sliced liver that he dehydrated. I thought it was gonna yak up. He slices the liver and dehydrates it for the dogs. I was like, that is the worst tasting jerky you've ever made. He was like, that's because it was liver. I was like, oh.
Does anybody have any questions for Mike on cuts of meat?
Yeah, anything like that.
You know, you guys can, all right. Do we have a list? What do we have now for people donate processors for venison? Local smoke shops. Who do we know?
Nobody's chimed in yet.
Yeah, I haven't.
There's not a lot of guys doing it anymore.
We've been processing our own for years.
So, how about local? We have Big Bucks,
Yeah.
Pittstown. There's Route 66 we can talk about. How about West End?
West End,
That's in
Cambridge.
Cambridge?
Yep.
West End does it. How about Eagle Bridge? Do they still do it?
I don't know.
I don't think they process deer anymore, but I'm not 100%.
Yeah.
So if everybody watching can chime in or give us some feedback. I know there was a post on the page the other day where people were throwing some names out, so maybe we can go back and
In Bennington, yeah, Henry's.
oh, and Wayne's saying he actually does too, R&R. So we'll put that collective list together.
R&R based
I mean,
on.
Yeah.
obviously, I process deer, but I already have a pretty large customer base that already comes to me. I'm a one guy operation. I don't really
don't have time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So are we going to get into the hot topic?
Oh, I
that you
don't
threw
want
out
to get
there?
into the hot topic.
Oh, yes,
you're the
hot
one who
topic.
threw it out.
Cabin hot topic of the night. That's why you think.
What are you talking about?
Did you come for the hot dog?
And you're going to tell a story. I don't know if I'm going to be able to.
So did anybody pay attention to what the hot topic was? Somebody chime in out there and see who knows what the hot topic was for tonight.
How about that? Is that on there tonight?
Anybody gonna chime on? Come on. Seriously? Oh, somebody did.
I know the hot topic so far is the garlic stove, as far as I know.
That is a good hot topic to talk about.
That is. It would make me a very happy person.
I can tell you what the hot topic is for me. I'm going to have another one of those sausage and pepper sandwiches in that smokehouse, because I'll tell you, it's some of the best stuff I've ever had.
Randy does a great job over there. Yeah, him and his daughter, Randy, runs it now.
I was hoping there'd be a little bit left. I'm heading up to the next tomorrow. It'd be nice to have a little
Now,
bit.
we do
Get there
have,
before I do.
so PJ gave me, 35 pounds of venison?
About that, yeah.
All right, so Randy, I'm coming over tomorrow with 35 pounds. What do we want? Like sausage,
No,
sweet
I was
sausage?
just looking- yeah, I really like the sweet.
How can you guys not get chorizo? Oh, you don't like spicy food.
Yeah. No,
How about sticks, meat sticks?
yeah, gotta have some meat sticks.
Smoked snack sticks. They got regular Texas hot cheddar, barbecue cheddar,
He's doing whatever he can.
teriyaki. There you go.
How can you like a hot topic?
Teriyaki.
There you go. So you want sweet sausage,
Some pepperoni.
pepperoni, teriyaki, snack sticks,
Yeah. And how about, I'd like to try some of the hot dogs too.
and the hot dogs. Yeah, he does good hot dogs.
See if I have enough.
All right.
Just have them give on me a call.
There you go. Get your machines ready.
Just figure it out. Whatever it is, I'll be happy with.
Okay.
Easy.
Well, you know he
peasy.
doesn't have anything else to do tomorrow, so if he needs more venison, go ahead.
All right. Brian's doing everything he can to avoid that
Go ahead.
hot topic.
What is it?
The hot topic is mountain lions.
Oh, jeez, here we go with this now.
Brian threw it out there, so
It is.
had to stir that pot.
Bobcats?
No,
You
that
said
one
mountain
line.
lions.
Sure, I didn't say bobcats.
I
I
said
said
The long-tailed bob.
Long tail
Yeah.
bobcat.
The 40-pound mountain lion.
Yeah.
No, no.
Oh, right. So we're going to start this hot topic off with a story from one of our board members. Okay? The floor is yours.
All right. Now, it was
Where were
probably, I'm going to say It had to been at least 15 years ago.
What bar were you leaving?
I was actually, I haven't drank in 18.
Oh, boy.
So,
You weren't into them special mushrooms, were you?
no, I wasn't. So I got a phone call from a friend of mine who lives just outside the village line in Hoosick Falls. And he told me, he said, I just saw a mountain lion in my backyard. I said, well, you were out too late last night drinking.
So I don't know.
And he got pretty mad. He said, I'm telling you, that's what I saw. And it was, I would say, probably March. So there was spotty snow. You know, there was grass showing, but, you know, some big chunks of snow. So I called up my neighbor, and he passed on a few years ago, but he's been a trapper his whole life. He's been an outdoorsman his whole life. So I called him up. I said, look, we got to go see if there's tracks in this guy's backyard. He said he saw a mountain lion. So I went, I picked him up, and we were talking. He's been to a bunch of trapping conventions. And not that he'd ever seen a mountain lion, but he talked to trappers from out west. And he said, now they told me, he said, when you see a track, he said, when that mountain lion goes uphill, he said, you'll see the tail drag because their tail is so long. So we go up there and we talk to my friend, and we go out to the backyard, and I see a couple tracks. And
How big's the snow?
it was only
A couple inches.
an inch of snow in spots.
Dusting mostly.
Yeah, it was older snow, but
Yeah.
soft because it's March, you know, and I saw a track in the snow that was probably I'd say about softball size, and with no claws and round. I mean, I haven't been all over the place, but I haven't seen that track. I haven't. To me, somebody tells me that they saw a mountain lion, and I see a track that kind of resembles one, kind of makes me think. So, to go on, we started to follow the track a little bit. And sure enough,
Now, how, looking at the track, you sure it wasn't a melted one that's red
I'm sure.
from a house cat? And it was warm that day?
Yeah.
And it just grew?
Maybe the house cat had house cat snowshoes on it. Just made it look big.
That house cat made about an inch wide drag mark in the snow and went uphill. So, I didn't see it. I didn't put my own eyes on it.
Oh,
I still have my doubts. I can't explain what that track was,
Or the tail.
but it would make sense to me. You know, I can make that stretch. One of the things that keeps me holding them back from it is there's a lot of houndsmen out there. There's a lot of trappers out there. I haven't heard of any of them that have treed one, that have made a set for bobcats and had one by the toe when they got there. The other thing is trail cams. You can't go any place in the woods today without being on camera. And I haven't myself seen the credible picture that actually says, and I'm not saying that somebody who says that they have seen one, I'm not going to tell them that they didn't. Because I saw tracks that possibly could be that.
Now, remember we put a poll out?
We did. You
I put one out last.
You did, and I
He
called
keeps
you right
saying-
up after.
He keeps saying we, him and the mouse in his pocket.
But how many people, the poll was, is there mountain lions in New York State? And half the people said, maybe more than half, said yes.
Right. Well, yeah, it was an overwhelming one.
You know, I remember back early 2000s, town of Bethlehem, they had a mountain lion sighting, they closed the schools, it ended up being a fox with mange. I've investigated several complaints over 20 years. They end up being house cats, coyotes with mange, bobcats.
Use a house cat with a mountain lion.
Have you ever seen some of the pictures of people
Yeah.
say I got a mountain lion on a trail cam, but it's a house cat far away, and they don't have anything for reference, so.
Right, out in the field.
I got a call 10 years ago from North Greenbush PD. They, over by LaSalle on Winter Street, there's an elementary school. There's a development across the street, and they blocked the roads, they closed the school, they wouldn't let the kids out. Because a girl called, said there's a mountain lion. So I show up, and the picture, to go to your point, was a picture of an orange cat turned sideways with a tail, and it was on a sidewalk, but it looked like it was a road. So everybody's thinking it was a roadway, so I kept looking at the picture, trying to scale it. So I met with a complainant, and I go, where was it? And she pointed, and it was to the sidewalk, which was 3 feet wide, and in the photo, the animal took up 3/4 of a 3-foot sidewalk. I said, young lady, do you know what how big a mountain lion is? She goes, no. I go, 150, 220 pounds, with a tail 7 foot to 8 foot long? Oh, I didn't know that. So, scale measurement, we look at background, it was a big tomcat. So, and I've had people, well, that's not true, we found a deer in the tree. Well, guess what? Mountain lions don't bring their kill in the tree. Leopards of Africa are the only cats that bring their kill in the tree.
Maybe we got those.
Yeah, so maybe it's a leopard.
Yeah, no, we could have some spots.
Not
So
passing
somebody
through.
chime in and prove me wrong.
But not passing through. All right, 11 years ago, one did come through.
They suspected
Cut
not pass
and-
through.
And then when it went to another state, it got
Correct.
hit and killed.
Right.
And it was
Has
so-
that happened? Possibly we got a few passes now.
I can go back.
Why wouldn't they stay if they pass through?
The terrain, the territory.
Taxes are too high.
Taxes, yeah.
Taxes are too high.
Good point.
That doesn't make any sense to me that they
Um,
pass through
now,
without leaving New York.
I'm gonna see if my dad still has the picture. Maybe not on his computer, but I know somewhere he may have the printed out picture that he had. Now my mom walks this dirt road every day across the road from their house, and she came back home from her walk every day, and she came and got my father, and she says, you know, Ronnie, I got to show you this, because she notices, you know, things like that.
Women
She
are
says-
observant.
She says, yeah.
She walks each day.
Well, yeah, and you know, it's a dirt road, and it's kind of muddy, so you would notice, you know, tracks going across the road, especially if it's prominent. And my dad went down, and he called me, and he says, I think I got a mountain lion track, and I'm like, yeah, okay. And he says, no. And I remember him printing out the picture that he took and put on his computer with a ruler next to it. And I mean, that print was almost as big as my hand. It was in mud, it wasn't in snow, it hadn't melted. And other people in the area at that time, further down towards like Copake and that way, said, you know, there was multiple sightings of a mountain lion. And some people, of course, saw it with cubs, and you know, as soon as somebody said, "Oh, I saw it," and this was way before Facebook and all that stuff, but you know, word travels in a small town. And of course, as soon as early, I would say, very late winter, maybe early. No, it may have been early spring, I think.
You said cubs, so.
Well, not small cubs, but you know, this is, of course, coming from, you know, one person sees it, so another person saw it.
They see something.
And then, of course, you know, 20 minutes later, oh, I just saw it up in Chatham. Well, they don't have a car, so they're not that fast. But I know for a fact of what I saw in that picture, and there's a ruler there for scale. But does that necessarily mean it's living up the road? No.
No.
You know, stranger things have happened, and I've seen stuff in the woods that, you know, I wouldn't think I've ever seen before. And things that still make me question, you know, I was bow hunting a few years ago, and I don't know what this sound was. I know what a bobcat sounds like.
Fisher.
And I know what a fisher sounds like too, and it was a lot louder than that. And I'll tell you what, it made the hair stand right and it made the hair stand right up on the back of my neck. And the deer that were in the field, in this little cut cornfield in front of me, kind of all clumped together and started heading out of the woods. I don't know what it was. Is it a mountain lion? Probably not. But I know it for a fact that it was something I'd never heard before.
Made the hair stand.
Oh yeah, especially when it's getting dark.
Why are you so adamant they're not here?
Nah.
Well, you mean,
Bigfoot
there's
is
a difference
here.
between them passing through
No,
and
wait,
them
Right,
being
we don't have a
there.
population. We don't have a
Right.
population at all.
I
Has
just-
one passed through now? Possibly, probably.
I don't understand the past.
I mean, I get moose down
I've
there every
read
once in a
in the
while too, but
past-
that doesn't mean they live here.
We have a population of moose, we have like a cherry plain,
Oh,
there's
there's a bunch
moose
of
and.
them.
Right, yeah, but I'm saying like throughout the rest of the state, that, you know, you see them in places that you'd never think you'd see them before, but that doesn't mean necessarily.
Nobody has brought forward anybody on a picture of a mountain lion that's been authenticated.
Okay, group, this
Nobody.
is a challenge.
And Ed Milkowitz, don't even try.
I like all the trees in the background here.
Yeah.
This is a challenge, Facebook group.
Well, you know,
Listen,
I never
50
want
pound
to discredit
bobcat. How
someone.
big's a 50-pound bobcat? That's the head on its
they're big
And
animals.
my
They got
rule
their
my
own
rule of
building,
thumb,
massive.
when it comes to bears and other animals on this job, when somebody calls and says they have a 400-pound bear, I cut it in half. It's usually 200 pounds. And that goes with the same thing with the
Wait a minute, can you say
bobcat.
that again, because I was reading a comment
All
about
right.
that. No, I'm serious, didn't hear you about the
When
rules.
somebody calls and says they have a 400-pound bear, I know it's about 200 pounds. I cut it in half the weight. Same thing. They see a 40-pound bobcat, they think it's a 100-pound cat.
So there's a question here. So for saying that there aren't any around, what would happen if somebody shot one? Would they get in trouble?
Yes.
Of course they would. They're federally protected.
Yeah,
They're
they're federally
endangered.
protected. They
They're
have
endangered.
How do you want somebody to prove there is one? Do you want them to
Take-
be
Take up pants,
Take
so
some-
knock it off.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
I got my knock it off.
You do?
Knock it off.
I mean, I would never discredit somebody from what they see.
Right.
You know, but I've had some guys tell me that I've known for a long time that I trust that said that they've seen him, that they have seen.
I've talked about
The passing through, I did look up years ago, and I could be wrong on this, and I probably shouldn't say it, because I could be wrong.
Throw it out there.
But I read that a male mountain lion's home range is 700 square miles. That's a huge amount of
Yeah.
space.
You know,
And
I ain't walking it, I'll tell you that.
no, and the passing through, I mean, does it happen? That's a huge amount of ground that a male will drag.
Oh, yeah. I'll tell two more cases I had. I can go on and on. Someone had a horse that was killed. We show up, investigate. This happened with a few officers in Albany County and Rensselaer County. They said a mountain lion killed our horse. Well, investigation, we find little coyote canine tracks all over the pasture. The coyotes will grab the tail. There's a bunch of trauma on the tail. They'll run the horse till it's tired, and then they eat the ass out. And there's little claw marks all over. No throat, no razor. It's coyote. And we've had a few of them. I had right here at Bus Curve.
Edward Blanchard says I have a picture of one from a trail cam in Hadley, Missouri back in 2016.
Okay, well, I want to see it authenticated.
Send it in.
Send it in.
Send
No
it,
worries.
send it, yes.
In Bus Curve, they said there was a mountain lion. They sent me a picture. I went there, and the tree, I go, either the tree behind it's a sequoia, or it's a house cat. I went,
you say
it was,
there in
it was
your
a small tree, about 4 inches. They were adamant, no, they didn't believe me. So I set up thermal imaging. And I sat there for several nights out, there was a burned down trailer in the woods. And finally, I picked up, here comes a house, a big tomcat, orange, with 2 rings on its tail, just like the one they showed me. And I showed them the picture and they said, that's it. It was a big tomcat.
All right.
Hey, hang on. So
But wait, there's more.
I didn't even say
So,
anything. I'm getting
so I
shocked.
said, let me give it one more night. But that's the cat. And I set it up in a trail. And I'm looking at my thermal imaging monitor, and the camera's up in the trail, and here comes a person. It's midnight walking down the trail. This is the middle of, I don't know what the. So I get out and I wait for him, and I step out, scared the crap out of him. And it was a local, I'm not gonna name names, a local guy that hunts bobcats. And he was out looking for the mysterious mountain lion. At midnight, he was up there looking for
They
it.
found a grizzly bear.
Yeah. So, anyway, moving on. Oh, brother. How are we gonna authenticate it?
He's gonna
It's
email
easy.
it.
Okay.
I'm doing that right now.
He's asking where can I send it?
Huh?
Alright, let's see.
Okay. Yeah, okay, good idea. Oh, we've done that before.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody
I'm
posts a
listening.
picture, you Google it, and it's a picture from Outback.
Well, here's the thing. I'd be thrilled if a guy, because
I want
like
to see
PJ made the best point ever. There's a million. How many guys do you know only own one trail cam?
Right.
There's how many thousands of hunters in New York State, and even if only a tenth of them own trail cams, you can't walk 100 feet in the woods now without being on somebody's camera somewhere,
Right.
whether the camera's supposed to be there or not.
Well,
So
there's no mountain lions in New York State, prove me wrong.
Oh,
There you go.
challenge is
we're gonna
on.
have to get a website now, www.provebrianwrong.com.
Somebody look that up on GoDaddy.
It's not saying that they don't pass through that. They do pass
Right.
through.
Very seldom, years
I-
and years.
2011 was the last time
Yeah.
it's recorded.
I
There
don't
was
understand.
track.
Nobody even saw. They just, the track from where it came,
In the Catskills.
we never
and
got
Hudson
photos
Valley.
of it in New York State, but in order to where it was hit by a car, it had to have passed through.
Yeah.
So,
I just don't get the whole pass-through thing.
Yeah.
It's like,
Sorry.
I don't know what animals.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it,
I
No,
thought
I mean
more.
that's the same reason why. I was hunting the other day, and for whatever reason, that deer decided he was going to walk a totally different trail and ended up on the other side of my stand where
No,
I've never
I-
seen them. So they're unpredictable. As you
I
guys all
get
saying.
animals moving, but I don't understand why none of them would locate in New York. That doesn't make
Taxes.
sense.
I told them taxes are too
Yeah,
high.
they're smart.
Well, you said 700 square miles.
Right.
I mean, my thought on it, I mean, even if they pass through now, then wherever they're passing through from, they're expanding the range.
Right.
Because it never happened before.
It,
So they might just be testing the outer limits,
mm-hmm.
and they're not finding what they're looking for. They're not finding
The habitat.
other
Right,
mountain lions
right.
here
Yeah.
because their drive to reproduce. They leave.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing. They're searching. If, in fact, they travel through New.
I mean, that's not to say
Well,
if
I
they
just
are in other
found
states.
a local news segment from 6 years ago that was trying to create a habitat up north in New York State, and then in order to create the habitat, they said they may have to bring in a female in order to get to bring it back.
Well,
But
then we
that's
go
the
back
last
to the
news story that
conspiracy
was.
theory,
That's
Well,
the last-
DC released
Brian personally released 50 mountain lions in New York State. I know he
News
did.
story.
to control the deer population.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't do
Oh, no.
that.
Brian raises mountain lions at his house. Don't let him lie to you.
We
He's got
did
a
not
big
do
pen out
that.
back.
DC would never do that.
We as hunters shoot over 230,000 deer a year.
Yeah.
We don't need anything else to control them.
Listen, we had the Tiger King. Now we're going to have the Lion King.
I wish the owl had been for a while. All the owls are rescued.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I tell you,
Siegfried and Roy is coming back. Right here. The Lion King.
this past summer I'm checking fishermen down in the mountain and they're like, "You're the guy from Facebook." I'm like, "Oh my god, no, officer."
The Facebook guy.
So we're winding down. These last few minutes, we're gonna give a shout out to our sponsor.
Yes.
Once Penny composes herself. Can you, Penny? Where's our thing? The donations. Do that again. So
Do that again.
recap our donation list. What we want for donations for Hannaford and stuff. Come on. What's up?
So are you talking about the holiday drive?
Yeah.
Okay, the holiday drive. Looking for anything you're wanting to give, whether it's gift cards from any local grocery store, food itself. Anybody wants to donate any venison or bear? Somebody gets a bear, whatever.
We had pork. Somebody butchered Stratton's. Thank you, Greg Stratton. Stratton's did a couple pigs for us last year, and we sent them to 3 different families. Boxes. We had donations. Trish, North Country Wild Care, she helped us out with some stuff from Hannaford's, groceries. A lot of gift cards go a long way. Hannaford, ShopRite,
Yes.
Price Chopper, gift cards. People can use them for groceries. We did $5,000 last year. Thank you.
Another good one, even nowadays, especially with the cost of everything. A gas card.
Yeah.
A gas card to mobile or
Yeah.
whatever place.
And don't think that it has to be any huge amount. I mean, any little bit that anybody can do, even if it's just a couple canned goods, whatever. It doesn't
A
have
little
to
in
be.
abundance is a lot.
Yep. So
Thank you. And we're going to be looking for sponsors for our cabin talks and
Are we-
events coming up.
When are we doing the next cabin talk?
Throw it out there.
Not the fifth, right?
No, the fifth, so we're gonna, update the website, and so one of the things to get back to the class is we're gonna try to schedule those far in advance. But I believe we talked about doing the next cabin talk on the 23rd, but that's Thanksgiving week.
Okay.
But did you talk to the guest about being here for that?
Yeah.
So,
We have a special guest coming up for that.
on the 23rd, so we'll do another cabin talk on the 23rd,
Which is what?
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
We have our special little guest coming.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
not gonna wanna miss that.
Yeah.
This is when you're gonna want
You're
to see.
definitely gonna wanna be here for that one.
Yeah.
And then, December 5th, we have the drawing for the raffle ticket. Raffle tickets, we have about 60 left. You can
Yes.
Venmo us, PayPal, see any of us in person, and a couple other people. Jim Greeley has tickets, Terry Gifford has tickets, and then,
I have 12 left.
yep, so they're gonna go fast, so if you haven't gotten those, the 17 chances to win. And then to recap, the rest of the wish list, garland stove and a grant writer, and somebody to help design the lean-to the Adirondack room.
Yes. Nice.
Before we end, we're going to give Mike his Christmas present under the tree to open on Facebook Live. Robin, you had one more thing?
Yeah, I just want to let you guys know that we just ended our youth outdoor photography contest for our 2022 calendar, and we just got to put some things together. I emailed all the contestants. There are 28 contestants. Really exciting. Really excited. We have to do a little bit of prep work and everything, so we're going to be in touch with you in the near future. Do some posts on Facebook, and I'll send out some emails as well regarding the calendar. And thank you for joining us. We can't wait to share the rest of it.
The calendars will be for sale, hopefully within the first week of December, and they'll make nice Christmas gifts. Oh, speaking of Christmas,
Fantastic photos.
yes,
I've had the opportunity to look through them. And these youth did a fantastic job.
speaking of for sale, the sweatshirts, I'm gonna hold a couple up just so somebody can.
Like our new Christmas tree we put up?
Nice, heavy, sweatshirts hooded, logo on the front and back. We have black, gray, and orange available, $35, and they're a nice heavy sweatshirt.
I highly recommend the orange. Trust me.
As a matter
They
of
can't
fact,
miss you, even in the dark.
I believe this one's yours.
Oh, you got one of these. Nice.
All right.
All right, once again, I'm going to thank Route 66 Smokehouse for the venison,
Yeah.
sausage, and peppers.
Absolutely.
Route 66 Smokehouse,
dinner.
195 Main Avenue, Linesville, 518-283-0482. Thanks, Route 66.
And if anybody's interested in sponsoring our next cabin talk, get a hold of us. That would be wonderful.
Don't forget your sweatshirts.
Yep.
Mike?
Hit it. Oh, boy. This is some snazzy
Can I
graphics.
just remind you, you're on Facebook Live. I don't know where that came from. It showed up here.
Oh, no.
Oh, how exciting. Early Christmas present.
It's ticking.
Come up to the cabin. It's Christmas every day.
It's a
Let's read it out loud.
Well, it says Merry Christmas. Oh, I'm going to do something.
You're on Facebook
Well, read it
Live.
out. Read it out.
I don't know if I'm not reading that loud.
Go, you read it.
You are dead to me. You are dead to me.
Mike, missing your moves on the R&R dance floor. Happy holidays, dirty dancing boys.
And dead.
Mike's really going to be looking for this airplane now.
Yeah. Remember, Brian, just remember one thing.
Shirts that they beat.
You know, just like the military, remember one thing, tracers go both ways.
That's right.
Oh, you. I'm not helping my own cause here.
Hold it up, too.
No, I'm afraid to open it.
Let's get a
Why do I have to do this yet?
All right, what do we got?
Joe, I agree with you.
Oh, yes! Team Ramrock!
Thanks for joining us
Thank you.
from the Capital District Cabin, Facebook Live. We'll see you next time.
I don't know how to end it.
Just chill, please.